when you buy any product, don't go saying, we don't even know what is in this product. You know. Hey there, welcome to my channel, Food Decoded. My name is Yemi Fadikpe. I'm so glad to have you here. If you're new on the platform, this is where I help people of color reset their relationship with food, break free from fat diets, eat healthy, lose weight, and keep it off. So you've come to the right place, and I bet you would find this very useful. Please, before we go ahead, click on the subscribe and notification button so that you can get alerted every time I publish a new video. In today's video, I want to show us how to interpret food labels. This is one area that I have always wanted to address among people of color. We have so much distrust in a lot of the systems, in governments, in authorities, and we carry that distrust into so many areas. I've come across a lot of us in many different settings. When you bring a food product out and you just hear someone says, oh, whatever they have on the label is all lies. It says sugar-free. It can't be. How can it be sweet and it's sugar-free? You know, we just choose to disregard food label information because we don't trust the information that the manufacturer is giving us. Today, I want you to start looking at this in a different way. One of the challenges that Black people talk about is the lack of information or limited amount of information tailored to their needs to help them with their weight loss or with healthy eating. But the little amount of information that we have in the place of food labels, where the manufacturer have tested and provided this information, we then choose to regard. So what else do you want to work with? What you have or what you don't have. I will break this down for us today so that you start to know what to pay attention to when you look at food labels. The information you find on food labels can be categorized in two: legal and mandatory information, and the other information will be marketing information. As the name implies, legal information are those information that the food manufacturer is obliged under the law to provide on your packaging to give you the information you need, helping you to make an informed choice, healthy choice when you're buying the product. Marketing information, on the other hand, is the information that the manufacturer or the brand owner has put there to convince you, to tell you all the selling points, the unique selling points of their products, and convince you to buy and choose their product over the competition's comparable products. You won't believe how much of the information on your food label is highly regulated. Because there is a lot of them, they are mostly put on the back of pack. That is why your back of pack is always full with lots of information, and most of the marketing information is on the front of pack because that is what is inviting you to even come closer to see the product. There are some legal information on the front of pack as well. In many countries, the regulation guiding this will be called something like, in Europe, Food Information for Consumers Regulation, and similar names across the world. But most of this is mandatory, and the aim of this regulation is to protect you, the consumer, who have decided to disregard the information. Now that we know that there is legal and mandatory and there is marketing, and we know the difference, I want to now tell you and show you what the legal and mandatory information are, because that's the one you really need to focus on. That's the one that the government have put in place to help you to make healthy, informed choices. The first mandatory information, which is obvious on your food label, is the name of the product. The name of the product has to be clear enough to make anybody seeing it at first glance be able to tell what the food is. If it is almond milk, don't just tell me it is milk-like plant. No, you call it unsweetened almond milk. So if I'm buying it, I know that I'm trying not to get added sugar. I want a plant-based milk. This is the product for me. This information is mandatory and it will always be on the front of pack. The second information that is mandatory and that you need to check on your labels is your allergen information, especially if you have food allergies and intolerances. You will normally find this information in close proximity to your ingredient list on the back of your product pack. So when I say the front of pack, that is the part that normally faces you on the shelf, and the back of pack is every other part of the food packaging. Your allergen information would always be in close proximity with the ingredient list, and within the ingredient list, they would most of the time bolden any ingredient that is an allergen or show you in a way that is different from every ingredient, and there might be a statement next to it saying may contain or contains or produced in a factory that handles XYZ allergy, so that allergy sufferers can actually see that and know to avoid that product. The third legal and mandatory information on your food label is the list of ingredients. Now, a lot of you don't know that the way your ingredients are listed tells you something. When you buy any product, don't go saying, we don't even know what is in this product. You know, because you only need to turn to the back of the pack and the full list of ingredients are there. One thing to take note of is food ingredients are listed in decreasing order of their quantity in the products. So the first product on your list of ingredients is the highest proportion, and the last product is the one that is present in the least proportion in that product. So straight away you can tell. If somebody tells you this is juice drink and the first ingredient is water, the second ingredient is sugar, you know that you are drinking sugar and water mostly, and then the fruits concentrate is second to the last. So you can start to see. So when next you look at your ingredient list, you can tell what is the biggest proportion and what is the least in the way they are arranged. For those of you who care about where your food originates from, you want to eat British pork only, you want to eat British egg, the egg has to not travel more than 3 miles, that is you. One of the other information that is mandatory is the origin statement for ingredients that define the quality of that product. So if a customer would normally buy that product because of the egg, for instance, if you're selling something like Jamaican patty and buying it because of the beef that is inside it, not because of the flour. So in that case, I would declare the origin of the beef for the sake of consumers who care about where their meat is coming from. The next thing that is mandatory, especially for alcohol drinkers, is when you buy an alcoholic product or a product that contains alcohol that is not even alcohol, it has to declare the percentage alcohol in the product. The next mandatory information that you have on your label is the weight or the volume of the food. So nobody is going to cheat you. In fact, this one, apart from the labeling laws, almost every country have a weights and measuring people. They go around and they check that your product is what you say. If you declare average weight, people that declare average weight put E by it. So when a food says 200 grams, E, and then you try it and you find 195, and you say, oh, they cheated me. They haven't cheated you. They've simply stated average. So it could be that it's from 195 to 205. You could pick another pack and it's 205. So you can't go saying, these people are incompetent. Their equipment are not good. They are giving us different weights. No, when they put E, it's saying it is average. But don't think that they can rip you off, because when they set the average, there is a minimum tolerance and a maximum top tolerance that they cannot operate outside of. The next information that you will find and is mandatory, so you can see that this is a lot of information. So sometimes people will say, oh, why did they write that information in small letter? They want to just hide it from us. No, it's because there's a lot of information that the government and the authorities across the world make mandatory to be put there. So they have to squeeze everything in so that you can make informed choices. So don't look at it. You have to change your mind when you start looking at your food labels from now. The next one is your storage instruction. I've seen people, even it happens in my house. We receive delivery and then someone says, where should I store this? Is it fridge or freezer? And I'm wondering, read the storage instruction now. They will put on it, store in a cool, dry place, keep refrigerated, store in a cool, dry place, once opened, put in the refrigerator and consume within 2 days. Don't come and now say after day 4, yeah, this product is not good, it's low quality, it went moldy. They wrote it on it. We just need to read more. You know what? They normally say that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in writing. This saying has been around for decades. It is high time that we change this. We are in the information age, and this information that is staring us in the face should not be eluding us. The next information that is mandatory and you will find on your label is your cooking instruction. The number of times people say, every time I buy pizza, it always burns. It always burns. There was someone that was telling, how can your pizza always burn now? So when I took it out, we were just cooking, I brought it out, and I checked the pack. He said, you read that one? I said, no wonder your pizza is always burning. The manufacturer says this is how to cook it. You don't read it. Do you want to bake pizza like you are baking agege bread? Or what is your plan? You know? So we need to follow these things. The cooking instruction is there to help you to get the food cooked. One, for some products for safety, and some for optimum quality for your enjoyment at the end of the day. The last two information are the ones I really want to spend time on, because this is where we miss it a lot and we complain and we also expose ourselves unnecessarily. Use by date or best before date, the shelf life. It is compulsory for any manufacturer to put that use by date or best before date on their product. This is telling you that this is how much life this product has on it. When it says use by, it means that after that date, that product is unsafe for consumption. Use by date is always put on products that have a short shelf life and high risk of microbial growth, so that if it goes by the use by, so they want you to have used it by that date. That's what it means, used by this date. But if your product says best before, it's just an indication of quality. You can still use the product after that date. That is why a lot of people that campaign for waste reduction always say, why do we have to throw food away after the best before date? Best before just means this product is at its best quality, not safety now. Your safety is guaranteed, whether before or after. But it just means the best quality is before this date. So it might just be that, or maybe the flavors are still strong, but after this date, the flavor might have diminished a bit, but the product is still safe for consumption. So that's the difference between use by and best before. So don't come and put a product that has a use by date of 24th December in the fridge and then come back on the 28th and say, oh, it's moldy, and then you start complaining. You've kept it far past when it's supposed to be used. And those kind of products, you are even putting yourself at risk of food poisoning. So now you know the difference. Use by is an indication of safety. Post this date, it is not safe. Best before is post this date, it is still okay, but you get the most enjoyment, the best quality before this date. That is why on products that are dry or ambient, like sugar, like flour, you will see best before. On products that can quickly get spoiled, like sandwiches, like fresh meat, cooked meat, you will find use by. That is the difference. Before I go to the last information, there's another information that is mandatory, but maybe a lot of us don't look at it, but that's the name and address of the manufacturer. Every food product has to have that on it, so that you have a place to contact, somebody to call if you have questions, if you have queries, if you have a complaint. You can go there and call the number and log your complaint. Now, the last information today that is the most important, especially if you're trying to live healthy, eat healthy, or lose weight, is the nutritional information. People will say, how can I know how many calories are in my food? You say that I should reduce my calorie. How do I know how many calories? It's on every food that you buy. When I was going to start losing weight, I was saying, how will I find the nutritional information for my typical Nigerian staple? When I went into the African shop, I realized that on the packaging, it's always been there. It's there because they are required to put it there. Now, even if you are the one that buys loose products, you can go to the supermarket website. That information, they have to display it on the product and on any platform where they sell that product. Even Amazon has to declare nutritional information for food products. So you need to know about your nutritional information. It will tell you how many calories or what the percentage of each nutrient and calorie is in your food. Most times they display it in a table on the back of your label. They will show you per 100 grams or per serving. Oh, this is how much fat, this is how much protein, this is how much carbohydrate. Now it's now up to you to now say, how do I know if this is the right amount or if it's too much or it's too low? If you live in a country like UK, they would have a traffic light system on your front of pack for the nutrients that are most important and most linked to food-related health issues. You see it in the traffic light system. You will always see calories. So for those of you who say, calorie doesn't matter, calorie will show on the back of pack, calorie will show on the front of pack. Salt will show, because salt consumption is linked to high blood pressure. Fat and saturated fat and sugar, those nutrients would definitely be on the front of pack. In the UK, it is a traffic light system. Anytime you see that and it shows green, it shows that the amount of that nutrient in that product is the healthy level it should be. If it shows red, then the quantity of that nutrient in that product is unhealthy. I'm sure you're wondering, why don't they just ban the product? No, because it's up to you to choose. The fact that it's high in fat does not make it a bad food. It means that when you are preparing that meal, you know not to combine it with another high fat product, or you know to reduce how much of that food to eat to keep the level in your body to the right amount. And then if you see amber is saying is not healthy, but is not outrightly high, is somewhere in between, but you need to reduce the quantity that you use. So that is how to interpret those things that you normally see that they call the traffic light system in the UK. And if in your country they don't have it, there will always be the nutritional information on the back of pack. Now, if you're wondering, oh Yemi, oh, you're not meeting my need today because we don't have this in my country, hop into the description. I've put a quiz in there to juggle your knowledge and to show you what constitutes high, medium, and low levels for these 4 nutrients that are of importance for your weight loss, for your healthy eating the most. I'm not saying the others are not, but these are the ones that are the most prominent and that can be linked to different health conditions. So go into the description section and click on the food eye quiz, and that will show you what quantity constitutes high, medium, and low for salt, for sugar, for fat, for saturated fat, and for calories. One more thing that you will find on your packaging, on the front of pack, they will also repeat it there that your recommended calorie intake per day is 2,000. They will indicate it on the front of pack, they will indicate it on the back of pack, in addition to the amount of information or calorie that is in the food you are eating. So I don't know where you guys get this thing about calorie doesn't matter for weight loss. If it doesn't matter, why would calorie information appear at least 3 times on the food label? Guys, wake up. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this and I hope you find it useful. I know I had to do it quickly and rush you through it. It might feel like a lot of information, but I bet when next you go into the store and you pick a product, you will find out that this information will start coming from your subconscious and you start to remember those things. So if you like this and you've enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell me when you start going into the store and you find labels. Take photos and send to me. Tell me what you're finding. Tell me what you're now understanding differently and how it is shaping your food choices. Thank you once again for stopping by. I really appreciate you and I love you so much. See you in the next video.